All right, guys, right before we get into this video, I just want to do a quick little self-promotion. If you guys want to support the channel in any way, we've got Saab hats, and Melanie can wear those Saab hats really well. So check it out, front, back, side to side. Check out the link below, guys, in the Teespring account. If you guys want to support the channel and you guys want to purchase a Saab hat, there's a couple different versions of it. So be sure to check that out. Enjoy this video. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please smash the subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. If you guys are new to the channel or haven't seen the previous upload, be sure to go check it out because we took delivery of the cheapest 9.5 Aero from 2004 that exists in the entire world. So guys, in the first episode of this car, we took a complete walk around, explained everything that was wrong with it, everything that's going to be done to it, and of course a little bit of background on this whole project. So be sure to check that out if I haven't mentioned that already. Thanks for tuning into this one. In this episode, we're going to be doing a couple things. First, we're going to definitely take our first drive in the car. And the next thing I want to do is do some little bit of touches myself. If you guys notice, when I lock the car and unlock the car, it doesn't have that famous Saab chirp. And of course, I enjoy that chirp, especially when you're in a rush somewhere and you want to make sure you actually locked it. It's a very distinct sound, and of course, I would like to have that back. So we're gonna go ahead, turn it back on. The next thing we're also gonna do, besides turn the chirp back on, is scan the check engine light. If you guys watched the first episode, there is a check engine light, and I suspect that it has to do with the thermostat floating around and that the fact that the thermostat is open, so the temperatures are constantly fluctuating since the car has the thermostat stuck open. We'll need to replace that. So the first thing is establishing connection. If you guys can hear this fan kicked on for the air conditioning, which is good because the guy was telling me with the heat on, it's losing coolant. So if anybody knows what's going on there, that obviously is happening in the winter time. We did a complete communication. Everything looks to be okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and read the cassette or read the check engine light. Guys, there you go. All right, guys. So there you guys can see the thermostat. What I'm talking about. That would cause that check engine light. So we're gonna go into the cassette, read values. Diagnostics, read. Alright, let's see what happens here. O2 sensor circuit, no activity. So that is not what's going on, even though that's still what's going on. We have P0134. Let's check that out. Alright, so the O2 sensor, from what I've read just quickly online, I have to do some more research on it. It seems like it could be just a harnessing issue or a ground issue. So if anybody out there has definitely experienced this, it's P0134. I have never personally experienced this one. So if you guys have a comment on that one, definitely drop that below. Next thing I'm going to do is adjustments. We're going to go into adjustments and idle, offset, and drive. I like doing this on all of the Saabs, increasing the RPM and drive up 50 because it helps with the vibration at idle, even though I know that some people say no. Airbag light has been coming on and off according to the previous owner. So let's see what we can see there, if there's anything going on. Front collision sensor right, open circuit or short to ground. So that is, I'm gonna screenshot that because that could be another ground issue. So we'll check into that. So once you get into the Tech 2, you can literally go into the number of beeps at arming, disarming, trunk. So I already did one beep at arming, which is what it normally is from the factory. Disarming is number of times is 2, so I'm just going to increase to the desired setting of 2. Close it up, back it out. Opening the trunk is typically 3, so I'm going to do 3 on that. And then flashes at arming is once or 2 times. Number of flashes disarming twice. All of it's twice. That's fine. Number of flashes trunk is typically 3, so I'll leave it there. Self-arming. Self-arming, I don't really want that on. I guess the car will arm itself if I walk away from it. Don't want that. Just in case you leave a key in there or whatever. It could be annoying. Alright, so that is that. Let's turn off the Tech 2. The air conditioning is blowing cold. We got our chirps back. Cool. Unlock twice, two chirps, trunk. Okay, all of this is working perfectly. So now that we got that back, we got the code scanned. So if anybody has any comments on that, be sure to check that out. Some of that stuff I am not 100% familiar with. I do know that the ECU wiring here can get a little bit finicky. So maybe I have to clean that out or something with the scan or with some electric cleaner. That can cause an issue. All right, guys. So here we go. We got our scan codes. We changed the security setting on the beeps. Now we're gonna take our first drive, and the only list so far that I'm gonna need to buy is a new shifter cover, a thermostat, and then I'm gonna also buy oil and the seals to drop the oil pan. All right, I just got back in the car. It looks like we're leaking a little coolant. So we're gonna have to figure out that. The previous owner told me the coolant is only happening when the air conditioning is running, air conditioning or heat. So again, I've never faced any of this. It could be the bypass valve, but he told me the bypass valve was replaced last year. So if anybody has an idea on that one, please drop a comment below. So here it is for the first drive. Those are the 3 major repairs, besides for maybe an engine mount on the passenger side, and I'm gonna probably, before I do the engine mount, I'll probably just do the subframe mounts, the bushings, because they seem to be original. So maybe the popping noise I'm getting is just that, not the actual mount, because the engine seems to be pretty solid in there. So for starters, the car is smooth. The air conditioning smells like typical Saab air conditioning. The engine sounds really good. The brakes feel really nice. They're smooth. Car shifts really nice. And it's quiet in here, which is really cool. No creaks or rattles. This car has 2 owners previous to me, and I think they all kept really nice care of it. Obviously the inside is just really nice, just a really good telltale sign of what a car owner is like. Here we are for the first time on the main road. Shift smooth. Average miles per gallon is high. I'm doing 70 miles an hour, or excuse me, 60 miles an hour, and there's a very slight shimmy on the wheel, and that could just be an alignment issue or a balancing issue, but nothing crazy. It's actually pretty smooth. The shimmy went away. Here we are at 75, also smooth and quiet in here. The owner drove 5 hours to deliver this car, so obviously reliable, and that's really a really good positive for me personally. So I got a little haptic feedback on the brakes coming from the rear at high speed, a little bit slightly in the front, little warpage. Again, no big deal. Not anything that I'm gonna replace right now. Again, I just heard when I re-accelerated that passenger side mount sometimes is a problem child. It either could be the mount, like I just said, or possibly just the subframe bushings. The subframe bushings are $50 plus some labor, so I'll probably take the time and just do that first since they seem to be original. Cars just sounds really good. It feels really good. Just got ourselves a good Saab here, boys. Suspension is nice and tight. There's no knocking noises or rattles, creaking. So that's kind of cool. And it's gonna be really interesting to see what that coolant leak is. I'm gonna just do a quick Google search here when I get home. This thing has a stage 1, so it's got some pep to it, and boom, we're at 70. I love it. This car is absolutely amazing. There is one feature that this car does not have that is a little disappointing to me, but it's not the end of the world, is the heated seat function in the back. My original Saab had that, and I know the passengers that used to sit in the car with me enjoyed that. So it's definitely something I wish it had, but again, it's definitely not the end of the world, so it's all good. And that is the first drive, guys. I'm gonna keep giving you guys some more updates. Like I said, I made a short laundry list of some things I need to address, some mechanical things. Before I end this video, when I get back to the driveway, I'm gonna show you underneath the engine. I have yet to do that in either of the two videos, and I will probably go ahead and do that just to show you underneath. And one of the videos for a couple hours, for 2-3 hours, maybe 4, whatever it is, I'll pull that oil pan down, check out the sump pump, clean it all out, and then also, like typical fashion, replace those seals. If anybody's ever watched any of my Saab guides of buying these cars or maintenance, those are some seals that just need to be replaced with age. And obviously, I don't believe it's been done on this car. The previous owner got this car with 125,000 miles. So if it was done, it was done at least prior to 125,000 miles. Therefore, you know, we're almost at 75,000, 50,000 miles, whatever. 80,000 miles since it's been done, if it's been done. So we'll definitely go in there and do that just to secure the safety of this car and engine. Make sure it doesn't self-explode. And just driving the car now up this hill and giving it the transmission jerking that it needs to just feel everything out, I'm definitely gonna need to do the subframe bushings, which is fine. We've seen it much worse. All right, guys, so there is where the coolant was leaking, and that was when I was running the air conditioning. And obviously that's happening when the AC's on too, or excuse me, when the heat's on, clearly. So we're gonna have to address that. We'll have to get underneath the car there and see exactly what's going on. But in the meantime, if anybody has an inkling of what that could be, drop a comment. So top of the engine, as you guys can see previously in the other episode, is in good shape. Let's just check underneath real quick. Underneath, the oil pan is definitely a little moist, and it could be from that coolant that's leaking down there, or just the typical oil pan repair that it needs. And we're also missing all of the covers for underneath here, all the plastic covers underneath the car there. As you guys can see, all the plastic coverings are gone. So other than the plastic covers missing, all of the transmission and everything is pretty dry. The oil pan I've seen much worse, so I'm not really too concerned. And like I said, that could be the antifreeze from leaking down below, or just, you know, a good old oil pan drop and repair. So pretty exciting stuff here, guys. We have ourselves a really good car. All right, guys, next day here, we're gonna do a little cold start. Nice little fire up there. Get it up on the ramps. So what I'm gonna do right now is get it up on the ramps only to inspect where the coolant leak is coming from. because I have a whole list of parts ready for checkout online. I want to go under there and just make sure I'm not missing anything we need. So let's do it. Here's your cold start idle, guys. Nice and quiet under here. It really is unbelievable for the miles, so that's good. Let's see what's going on under here now. Guys, so one thing I noticed while I'm under here, and I just confirmed it inside, is we have a busted wire here for the temp sensor, which sits right over there. And there's some good news about that. Is I have an extra one laying inside the garage, a new harness, so that's a good thing. And I just spotted some coolant leaking from behind the engine over here, so we'll go under there now. I'll turn the car off and just see that. Not coming from over here, it's not coming from the side of the engine where the water pump is, so that's a good thing. It's coming from right back there. All right, so there's definitely coolant coming from somewhere behind the engine there. Not too sure where, behind the firewall, guys. So any ideas, let me know. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna go ahead and just do the quick fix. Here's the harness I was just telling you about for the temp sensor. There's the plug. And what I'll do is just probably snip it off over in this area here and re-tap it in. You can always just go ahead and remount this in there, but it's probably just easier for me to take this one apart. All right, guys, so here's the new harness that I just pulled. We got the ground and the positive, and here's the old one. It's all messed up. So we're gonna splice this into the factory harness that's on the car. And then you're gonna watch me in fast time, which is why I'm showing you now. I have all these heat shrink items here that are gonna go over the factory harness here to kind of seal everything up nicely. So let's do it. And there you guys go. Nice little heat shrink on that without melting it. I left this here open so we can splice this now. Alright guys, so there you go, heat shrunk and taped up. There's the heat shrinking over here, everything is nice and clean. I'm just going to tuck it right there for now. Right underneath is where this sits in here. Alright guys, so you just got to witness me fix, I think, the first thing on the Saab. The check engine light is back on, and there is our temp sensor now reading a temperature. So that is now fixed up, good to go. I'm gonna let this AC run some more, and hopefully just in a few minutes watching for a drippy coolant. So stay tuned on this one, guys. All right, boys, I'm going to leave you off on this. I just tried duplicating the coolant leak that I saw yesterday by running the air conditioning, which was what the previous owner had mentioned caused the coolant leak, that and the heat. So here's what happened. Two things. One, the air conditioning didn't kick on for some reason. Number two, I couldn't get it to leak again. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Number one, getting the AC to kick on, that was kind of weird. and number 2, getting it to duplicate. So I'm gonna leave you off on here. If you guys have any comments or thoughts on that little issue, whether it's the coolant leak and of course the air conditioning not turning on this time around when it did last time, drop a comment below, give me some insight on that. Also guys, follow me at Kyle Pancis. Be sure to reach out to me if you guys have any questions or concerns. A lot of you guys have been doing that, so happy to help. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys next video. I got an entire parts list ready to go, and yeah, I have a budget in mind of what I want to spend on this car, and then of course that's just to get it into its formal stock glory, and then of course there's going to be things along the way, I'm sure of it, because that's just the way these projects go. So anyways, stay tuned for more. I look forward to seeing you guys next video. Thanks.